Hey everyone, it's Allison from Determined to Shine. If it is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are returning, thanks so much for coming back. Here at Determined to Shine, we use the magic formula of creativity, spiritual connection, and community to just create magical dream lives for ourselves. Now that sounds a little oversimplified, which it is, but it's really all about taking things one day at a time and focusing on the things that bring us joy. With that, I'm going to dive into the things that have been bringing me joy for the past month. That's right, this is the July 2020 favorites video. So we're going to kick things right off. I have a bunch of different categories to show you, and then I'll finish, of course, by showing you my favorite decks and one other little spiritual treat there at the end of the video. So I'm going to actually start with some artsy fun things that I picked up this month. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I love working with collage. If you saw yesterday's video on the Couture Tarot, you got a hint of this. So you can see why I will be so excited about these things. So the first thing I got is this giant book, sorry, I have a little MS stumble there, called The Extraordinary Things to Cut Out and Collage. So if you're a person who doesn't have a lot of magazines lying around, or you just want a shortcut, take a look at this business right here. So it is full of all kinds of images, anything you could ever want to create with and play with, like vintage images, like it's just everything in here is, look, I mean, like this robot and kids' toys, puppies, buildings, signs, how many more things can I sing? Pyramids and weird ancient Egypt things, la la la, flowers. Okay, I'll stop singing, I promise. But anyway, you get the point. Awesome, awesome book full of vintage art for you to cut out, play with, collage with, create with, any way you want to. On that note, if you don't want to cut it out, grab the antiquarian sticker book. This has also, and this is thick, okay? This is not a skinny sticker book. And it's hardback. I've never even heard of such a thing. And this is also full of awesome imagery. Look at that. But it's all stickers, so you don't even have to do the work of cutting it out. You just peel, stick, create whatever you want. Collage art in your tarot journals, in your oracle journals, in your whatever journals. Awesome. Next. Okay, this is the one with all the stickers. And this is an unofficial sticker book for fans of Friends. And I'm a big fan of Friends, the TV show. And so this sticker book is just what it sounds like. It is all stickers based on the television show. There's a lot of repeats in different sizes. That's fine. Do I need a whole book of stickers from Friends? Sure don't. Did I get one anyway? Sure did. So awesome. If you love Friends or any of these artsy things, you will find the links, of course, where? In the description box. Okay, moving right along. Let's talk about books I was reading. I read 2 books that I super loved. One I'm actually going to talk about at the end of the video because it's a tarot guidebook. And I know that sounds strange to read a guidebook for a deck all the way through, but you will see why at the end of the video. The other book I read was Witch by Lisa Lister. The subtitle is Unleashed, Untamed, Unapologetic. This book changed my life. I'm just going to straight out say that. I don't even know. You know, she goes into the word witch and why people don't like to use it and why we can reclaim it. But she talks a lot about the history of just being a strong woman in the world and what that's like and why that's important. And it made me, I just felt like I was uncovering this deep-rooted part of myself that had laid dormant and quiet for my whole life, like something I was born with that I lost, but that was also ancestral and deep and older than me. And, you know, there's some very practical things in this book. There's a lot on the history of witchcraft and some things like that, but this book, more than anything else, just help me find me again. One of the things, I just flipped this open, and the message it says in really big print on this page is, don't trust all the books. Don't even trust this book or trust me either. Trust yourself. And I just get chills even right now reading that. Here's another line. It says, a force of nature is a natural phenomenon that cannot be controlled. You, woman, are a force of nature. You are a natural phenomenon. You are she who cannot be controlled. And so, yeah, it's delightful. It's amazing. It's powerful. It changed my life. I love this book. Read it. It's awesome. It's really awesome. Okay. Moving right along. Favorites. Okay, so let's talk about, of all things, candles. My favorite candles. My favorite candles. I'm probably going to edit out some of those, but now that I said that, maybe I won't. My favorite candles are from Wishes Candle Company. They do an amazing job of recreating the smells that one would find at the Walt Disney World and Walt Disneyland. It's not called Walt Disneyland. It's called Walt Disney World, and it's called Disneyland. At the theme parks. And they're amazing. So you've seen some of these in my videos. This one is called Have a Nice Flight, and all of them have glitter on top. This recreates the smells from the Peter Pan's flight ride. Here is Tiki Serenade. This is the Polynesian resort. Glitter on top. So great. Hold on, I have more, because of course I do. And I'm back. Hot fresh baked churros, people. I can't even eat churros because I'm gluten-free, but I'm here for this candle. It is my favorite candle. I am afraid of burning it because I don't want to ever run it out. And on birthday cake because it's very merry on birthday to you. And you, and you, and you. Okay, moving right along. Favorites. I'm in a very silly mood, so I hope that's okay with you, because if it's not, bummer, you're the one watching the video. I don't know what to tell you. Let's talk about music. Taylor Swift dropped a new album, surprise, out of nowhere, called Folklore. It's magic. It's amazing. Everything Taylor Swift touches is gold. If you know anything about me, you know that I love her. She is unafraid to be herself. She is strong in what she believes and what she stands for, and she creates from her heart without letting others tell her what to do. So I love that, and Folklore was the epitome of that, right? Because she's not going to be able to tour this album because of the pandemic. It's like she just went inside and recorded everything in her heart and poured it into an album and then just handed it to us. So as a surprise release overnight, no one knew it was coming. And so it was just amazing. I've listened to it many, many times. Super excited about it. I don't know where it will rank in the pantheon of Taylor Swift albums in terms of my favorites until I listen to it a few more times. But it's really wonderful. It's very different, and her vocals are stronger on this album than they ever have before. So that's my Taylor Swift segment of the video is now complete. Memories. A lot of people in their favorites videos like to talk about things that have happened, and I think that's really cool. I have two for July. One is that I launched a YouTube channel. Actually, is that August 1st? No, I think I got it in right at the squeak end of the month. And here you are watching it. Hooray! This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and so I was really excited that I finally got the pieces put together and just went for it. And it's been exciting and fun, and I'm super excited and just thankful to everyone who's been watching. This is a great time to remind you that if you like this video, you should like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, leave a comment. These things really, really help channels kind of get more attention and be able to monetize and do things like that. And since I'm just a little baby channel, that would mean a lot to me. So thank you. The other awesome thing that happened in July was the Determined to Shine retreat. I've been having a virtual online retreat every month since April. And they've been really magical. We've had anywhere from 20 to 60 women from across the world join in, and we pull cards, we create in our journals or in whatever we have. There was a woman who created on index cards because she didn't have many art supplies at hand. There's a woman who created everything on a paper plate, all out of things in her kitchen, and a Tupperware catalog. It was amazing. So we do creative time. We have meditations that are really powerful, journaling, and then deep sharing with each other, and just creating a time to deal with anxieties, talk about what's going on, and just have a lot of fun and have a break and just some magic time. And I've loved leading them every month, and the people who come are amazing, and creating friendships, and it's just been really powerful to be a part of it. So if that actually interests you, in the description box, of course, you will find a link to our August online retreat. I'm going to just tell you now, the sales page with all the information, it's not that pretty because I've been focusing on YouTube, and I can only do so many things at one time, because even though Determined to Shine actually has a ton of customers, I'm still the only person running it. I'm working on that. But it is a really powerful experience, and we all have an amazing time. So I was just really heartened in July. I actually think it was our best retreat yet. The meditations were really powerful, and it was just really wonderful to have a spiritual experience and connect with other people in the midst of all this, like, ugh, that is 2020 so far, right? Come on. Okay, the last thing on my list before the before we pop in to look at the decks is a little bit funny, but I thought, heck, it's pandemic time, it's favorites, why not talk about this? Be right back. I'm talking, of course, about my favorite masks, because we're in a pandemic and we have to wear a mask outside, and that's scary and hard, and sometimes I get sad about it. So I have fun masks. So this is my Care Bears mask. I got it on Etsy. I'll provide the link, because who doesn't love the Care Bears? And it's fun for me, and it's fun for people who see me. Yay! Next on my list is this super cute mask that I got on Etsy. And this is actually one of my favorites because of the fabric. Like, you can see I'm moving as I'm breathing, right? Like, okay, that's weird because it's like moves her face. It's like her nose. Okay, anyway. It's a really thin fabric, and I've had trouble overheating in the heat from masks, so I really liked this one. And the artist, her name is Flora. She has a beautiful Etsy shop full of amazing things, including like art prints and little boxes and all kinds of stuff, bookmarks, stickers. I actually have several pieces of hers in my house and in my spiritual space. So I was super excited to get a face mask. Plus it was thin and I could breathe. Ha! One more. It's my hot dog mask. Ha! This is really fogging my eyes up. Okay, I love my hot dog mask for two reasons. One, it's awesome because I love hot dogs. I really, really love hot dogs. But also, two, because this same print that I have my hot dog mask in, my friend Angela made me this hot dog tarot cloth for readings like 2 years ago. So I have a matching tarot cloth mask set. And I don't know why anyone would ever need that, but I have it and it makes me happy. And that's what the favorites video is all about. So links to all this stuff are below, but let's head over to my desk and take a look at the decks I used this month. So my first favorite deck for July was the Darkwood Tarot, and this actually wins as a favorite in 3 categories: the guidebook, the deck itself, and the bag it's in. So I loved everything about this in July, and I'm definitely going to continue diving into it in the fall. So first of all, this guidebook is just a full color masterpiece. And it's got what you expect in a guidebook, of course. You know, the basic information about the deck, some symbols, how to read it, there's some spreads, everything you expect. But then when you get to the cards, okay, so you have this gorgeous full color art for every single card. And for each one, you have this, you know, affirmation, and then it reads like a story. it just kind of describes your journey through the dark wood. I think that's actually, yeah, your guide through the dark wood tarot. And it just reads like this amazing little fairy tale that you are kind of the star of. And so I actually read this cover to cover. It was amazing. And I'm not used to reading a guidebook, but I learned a lot about the tarot and myself and the deck just from reading this book without even playing with the deck yet. So this wins for probably favorite guidebook, at least in a very long time. And, you know, when I talk about favorite books, I did read this book just as a book. The bag I chose for this deck is very out of character for me. It's super creepy, but it's also just really beautiful. It's from Third Eye Tarot bags on Etsy. Actually, I have 3 different bags I'm going to be showing with different things, and they're all from that same shop. So I guess that was my favorite tarot bag shop for July. But let's take a look at the cards. I edged the deck in this kind of gorgeous wine red, and it really, this deck, even though that's a contrasting color, there's so much red in the deck, and it just felt right to me. And it's interesting because red's probably my least favorite color. It's not a color I'm normally drawn to. So that was just interesting that's kind of, but it's really been part of how I've fallen in love with the deck. So we'll just look at some cards here. But it's just a really powerful deck for shadow work. And just looking at those deep, dark parts of myself that I don't always want to confront. But again, it felt so mystical and so alive and grounded and so different than kind of the airy decks I work with, or, you know, I have so much water in my life. Like, I'm going to be showing you some mermaids in a moment. And so this deck is very different for me. I'm not a person who's typically drawn to creepy decks. But this is a total win for me. Look how powerful this is. Just all these cards. I'm so in love with this deck. So this deck, definitely a favorite. And I also want to do a shout out. If you like this deck or you want to learn more about it, you definitely want to check out and subscribe to the High Magic Divination channel here on YouTube. It's run by Pamela Chen and Lisa Robertson, and they did a 4-week deep dive into this deck that is fantastic. So you definitely want to check that out if you decide to check out this deck. So next up is the Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson, who I mentioned runs the High Magic Divination channel with Pamela Chen that I just mentioned. Once again, super gorgeous guidebook. Same kind of thing. Fantastic full color art that goes along with the descriptions. The Llewellyn guidebooks these days are really second to none. I'm loving these. And of course, I also did a cover-to-cover read of this one because I'm just really enjoying reading more about the deck creators' visions for the decks that I use. So once again, a bag from Third Eye Tarot bags. And I just showed this in my Rainbow Decks video, so I don't want to spend too long on it, but I'll just briefly go over. Again, I did edge in kind of a teal, and it's just this is the card back. It's beautiful. Really great water energy, but also just very powerful, strong messages. I love how much fire is in this deck in the wands, even for an quote underwater deck, right? Lisa and her artist just did an amazing job with this deck. And this was my most used deck for July. I used it in almost every day in all my readings for classes and things I'm working through and all my personal readings. So really, really loved this deck in July. Now I have 4 Oracle decks that I considered favorites for July. I'm not actually going to show you the messages from the mermaids because it's also in the Rainbow Decks video that I just did. So I will link to that. You can check it out there. But it is a fantastic deck, so I just wanted to really briefly mention it here. Next up then is the Legendary Ladies by Anne Shen. And this is a really great deck. It comes with a guidebook that is not very meaty, just to be real about that. There is a full like giant art book by the same author that's great. But how I used this deck was simply to pull the goddess card that I wanted to work with, and then I did my own research or reading to find more information about that goddess. The art is beautiful. I love the font. I love the keywords. This deck is really affordable, which makes it really nice. But again, I don't necessarily use this one so much for oracle messages as I was using it for choosing a goddess to kind of study and work with. But I love the style of the art, the colors, the brightness of it. It just really is very me, I guess I would say, and just really beautiful and loving, really great energy. And so definitely a July favorite for sure. And you win a prize if you can pronounce that name. You don't really, but I'd think about it. Next is the Flora and Fauna of Africa oral deck by Jessie Jumanji, and I've really fallen in love with this deck. It's really neat, and I found this deck at the beginning of the month. I did a deep dive into looking at my deck collection and noticing where I had gaps in terms of creators that were not white. Because of just kind of what's going on in the world and paying attention to my own life and privilege and things like that. And so I wanted to take a deeper look at what I owned and made an effort to seek out some decks by people who are different than I am. And this is one of the ones I came across. And I'm so glad I did, because it's so different and beautiful from every other animal deck I own. From the colors and the keywords and just the art style. I love, you know, for each card, you've got the animal name, kind of the official name, and then a phrase that goes with it. So for Jaguar, we have reclaim your spiritual power, seek the guidance of your ancestors to manifest the changes you want in your life. And then also for the plant, the keyword is spirituality, and it's a jack in the pulpit, and then has the official name there. And I don't know what a jack in the pulpit is. But I love this deck because, you know, as it is based on the Flora and Fauna of Africa, there are animals and plants in here that aren't in my other decks. And I love this angelfish card. And just, I think it's really powerful, and it just really comes alive in a way that some of the other decks I own do not. So I love pairing it with tarot decks for just deeper meanings, and I think it's really great. And it came out several times, hitting my table in July, so definitely favorite, though I'm kind of afraid of cicadas, so I like go past that card pretty fast. Mosquito. Let's see what it says about that. Your frustration is only temporary. Don't let others drain your energy. The things that irritate you may be a reflection of yourself. I like that. I live in a mosquito-infested area of Wisconsin, so it's a good message to think about when they come a-calling, I suppose. So, oh, Savannah hare. I love hares and rabbits and bunnies of all kinds. So that is the Flora and Fauna of Africa. And finally, my last favorite oracle for July is the Whispers of Lord Ganesha, or Ganesha as I usually use, by Angela Hartfield. And this is, you know, if I'd been thinking about it, this doesn't want to open. Come on, little box. Sorry. This deck is probably a hug deck for me. It probably should have been in that video, but it wasn't, so sorry. But I do love it. It comes with a great guidebook with just some really loving messages, as most decks by Blue Angel Publishing do. Here's the card back. And it's just a very beautiful deck, and it just has a really warm energy to me. It feels very loving every time I use it, and I just absolutely get a lot of hugs. Hugs from this deck. I was going through some hard stuff, especially more towards the beginning of July, and so I turned to this deck a lot as I was struggling with various things, just to get those messages, to be encouraged. And doesn't that looks really good on this cloth. Just, yeah, find that encouragement and support that everything will be okay, and that I can feel loved and accepted. And oh, look at that card. I'm not always a big fan of the glossy cardstock, but it is a really, really beautiful deck. So yeah, just very loving, nurturing, and a reminder of what I'm capable of. So those are my decks for July. The other thing I wanted to show you kind of in this realm, so to speak, are my witches runes. I also keep these in a bag from Third Eye Tarot bags. This is probably one of my most favorite tarot bags that I have ever owned. And if I just pour them out, these were made, I keep a black tourmaline in the bag with them. These were made by Jamie Sawyer, and they are custom for a class at Ethony's Tarot Readers Academy, a Witches Runes class. And the class and the runes have just been fantastic. They've really added a lot of depth to my card readings in ways I never thought possible. I've never used runes before of any kind. I found these very easy to understand. As part of the class, you do get a little cheat sheet with the meanings and keywords and timing. And I just printed out a copy of that to keep in here as well. And just a really fun set that's, yeah, brought me a lot of joy and clarity. So those are my Witches Runes by Jamie Sawyer. And of course, I will put the link for all these decks and the runes in the description box on the video. So that's it. Thanks for being here for July 2020 favorites. I had a hilarious and amusing time creating this video for you. I hope you liked watching it and getting to know me a little better, as well as all of the stuff that just makes me smile and gives me more good days than bad, because all these little things, when we use them, when we use things we love, when we light candles that smell like places we love, when we have matching masks and tarot cloths, life is good, right? And that's what it's all about. So again, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those YouTube things. And remember that if you are struggling, you are not alone. And all of Determined to Shine community globally is here for you. You're loved, you're safe. Go ahead and check out the links below to see the ways that you can get involved with Determined to Shine and have all the magic of creativity and joy at your fingertips. And until then, yeah, may your life be shiny, and if it is not shiny, may you remain determined. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!